not once a year. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
But I want to get the language right. The government is in trouble.
You're all a bunch of slaves! Bunch of slaves!
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of media?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
Just be nice to people and be forgiving. It's really not that complicated. It's August the 11th, 2016. My name is S.M. Gibson. You are listening to Anti-Media Radio. The circus continues, the WWE political entertainment. This time, Obama did something. Who knows what they're talking about. The theater continues. I'm going to go ahead and bring on our great sound director right now, Shannon Madden. Shannon, what is up?
Man, forget about Obama. Let's talk about his young daughter at the Lollapalooza smoking the pot.
Man, whatever.
Yeah, well, and of course we've seen news recently that the DEA is not about to decriminalize or declassify, I should say, the Schedule 1 narcotics that marijuana is not.
Do you know what I didn't realize until today? Because they kept it a Scheduled 1, I don't know why I didn't realize this. Crystal meth is Scheduled 2. That means they could...
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Crystal meth is safer to use than marijuana.
I don't even know how that's true.
According to the DEA's
I hope
current
that
stance.
Turns out to be incorrect. Because there's no way that's true.
I got to double check that.
I bet you it's true.
But Adderall, what is Adderall? Is that a Schedule 1?
Schedule, come pick it up. All you got to do is pay us money.
Oh, that's right. You just get a doctor for that.
Yeah.
Adderall,
Crystal
meth,
whatever.
Whatevs. Yeah. Again, I personally, I'm not condemning her for, doing as college kids or teenagers do. Go to a concert and act a little crazy and smoke a doob.
My question is, who was the music playing when that happened?
Yeah, I think that's the more important question here.
I bet they weren't any good.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. It was Lollapalooza.
I mean, Justin Bieber is really good, but have you ever listened to Justin Bieber stoned?
That can't be great.
Justin Bieber stoned is amazing, man.
I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure it's like Beethoven.
Hardly.
But
now, Dark Side of the Moon, however.
Yeah.
Our Magical Mystery Tour.
I'm not going to get into the Dark Side of the Moon conversation because there's way more going on in the world to talk about. And if my computer will start acting properly, then I'll actually start trying to attempt to read some headlines that the mainstream media is not really, focusing on talking about because it's, did you hear what Donald Trump said? Here's one. What do you think about Hillary and all these people just falling around dead around her?
Business as usual, man.
Yeah.
That's what a vote for Hillary is. A vote for business as usual.
By the way, real quick, crystal meth is a Schedule 2.
Wow.
Which also include cocaine, PCP.
That's why Walter White was fooling with crystal meth on Breaking Bad instead of marijuana. He didn't want to get in all that trouble.
PCP. PCP is Schedule 2.
Are you kidding me?
Uh-huh.
That is just.
They say it's bad.
Wow, that blows my mind.
I hear it's a rough one. Don't do PCP, kids.
It doesn't blow my mind like them dubes do. Them Schedule 1 dubes.
All right, here. We're going to try to get to some actual information now. Did you see the job numbers that came out? That, they're acting like the jobs are going down?
Which Jobs? Steve Jobs? He's dead.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Steve
Anyways,
Jobs.
don't believe it. It's not true.
Tupac?
It's the math.
Illuminati? He's on an island in Brazil?
Right now, you can go to the front page of the antimedia.org and check out latest increase in U.S. jobs created by statisticians, not employers. And it's actually...
so it's not like real jobs, like people are actually working a real job?
They're saying...
It's a way that they fudge the numbers, or...
It's an article written by Ron Paul as well.
Very nice. I've heard of that guy. He says the things that people want to hear.
Here's one that you're going to get a big kick out of before we go on with what we've got scheduled for the evening. Ukraine masses troops on Crimea border.
More war, more division, more fear, more dead civilians.
Man, this computer is really not doing its job.
It's not my internet connection. I paid the bill this month, I think. What day is it?
I'm not sure. You know what? Forget it. So, anyway.
Yeah, you need off the internet anyways. You need a break. And speaking of which, there's a story up on antimedia.org right now about that very same thing. And I don't know, man. I've been kind of flirting with the idea here recently of taking a sabbatical from social media. I know it's probably inapropos to bring this up, on the podcast for www.theantimedia.org. But,
man, forget it. Like, people need
But
to
no,
get
I
away
mean,
from
as far as getting off the social media aspect of it, still getting on the internet, still checking out news, still checking out, kind of keeping up with things, but completely get off social media for a little while. Could you do it? You couldn't do it because of your job, of course.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could do it though.
Yeah.
I'm not a slave like you are.
You could do it.
I'm a free man.
I think people should start doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I really do, just for their own sanity. To get back in touch with the real world.
You almost have to, because everybody's become, in this election cycle, has become so
they're living their
about everything.
Well, they're living their lives online.
And it started off with the whole Republican-Democrat Trump versus Hillary, or Trump versus Bernie, or Bernie versus Hillary, whatever the case may be. And now it's just kind of spilled over into every conversation you have on social media. Everybody's just like rabid dogs attacking one another in packs, man. It's crazy.
For a while.
Yeah, but it's amped, man. You cannot deny me that it is not amped up.
It has. It started with Michael Brown, though, I think. Trayvon Martin.
More division.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Everything's division.
And again, everybody has to fit into the certain category or the certain box, or, well, you must be with this group or you must be with this group because you have any dissenting voice whatsoever.
Well, that's how people assume things, because everything's so black and white in everybody's minds,
And even up to and including matters of race
really
and black and white.
I don't really know that many people that like either candidate, personally, but I know weird people. I wish everybody, maybe it's everybody, who knows. But
weird people. You are a weird person.
Yeah, whatever.
You are weird people.
But so, anyways, I just don't think I was talking about both of them. Nobody liking either candidate, but people just assume if you don't like one candidate, then you automatically don't you love the other one.
Yeah,
automatic. Like that's what you think. Well, you don't like her. You must love him.
Oh, I know. You like to eat babies in the street, don't you? Yeah. I mean, it starts carrying over from one small generalization to this whole narrative that everybody has about this one and that one, and so on and so forth. And nobody's really getting to know one another anymore, particularly on social media.
I bet you talk to more people. I bet you talk to your friends now more online than you do in real life.
Yeah. That's because usually I'm under a house or a building somewhere.
Now, have you gotten to the point where you have more friends online? Yeah, I bet you have.
More friends as far as like what? I've still got a pretty small circle.
More friends of people you've never met, ever. But like you talk to them every day.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy that.
Right, that's where we're like at. Like we've connected everywhere.
I've got a friend that I talk to like several times a week, and I've never met them in person, ever.
And we're all holing up. We're all dividing off into our little groups. Like, we've all had, like, okay, used to you had to move to the big city to like, get with people that were like-minded. Now all you got to do is pick up your phone.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's like, oh, you believe what I believe. Let's start a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it together. And I think that's happening all across the world.
And parts of that are cool because people are getting
bringing
together.
people together.
People are getting together. They're, championing this cause or that cause. And some of them are very valid. Some of them are absolute horse crap. But, Facebook's weeding out the ones that they like and the ones that they don't like one by one.
I think Ron Paul was a movement of it. I think Bernie was a much bigger movement of something like that, too, where we're seeing it in politics. Where it just goes online.
Kiss the ring.
Well, him specifically, whatever.
Yeah.
And look at the way Trump's using Twitter. Like, that's it. Like,
and you want me to get a Twitter account. I'm still not doing it.
Well,
I'm grateful for it.
It's funny.
It is funny. Milo, shout out. R.I.P.
Yeah, he's still not there.
R.I.P. to the Milo Twitter account.
He's still going.
Man, that guy had some beauties.
They still got some crazy people on there, way crazier than him.
Remember the Kama Sutra one? That's still my favorite.
Yeah, he said some stuff.
The wall.
They've all kind of become cartoon characters of themselves, though, haven't they? Did you hear that there was a split over at InfoWars?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And where did that split come from, I wonder?
Well, we know why. At least
one Alex of them Jones's mind, because that guy's whack, dude.
But I know they were having issues over the Trump stuff.
So what happened?
I don't know. I just know they were having issues over Trump. I know this is super interesting, but
no, I'm not. I tuned you out like a minute ago.
Yeah,
I envisioned the crack in Alex Jones's mind, and that was it, man.
Well, it's probably a sight to behold. I'm sure he's good. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure everybody's good people.
Man, if he invited me over for a barbecue, I'd go.
Anyway,
I'd bring chips.
We've here in about 7 minutes, we're going to play an interview for you that Shannon did. Really?
Yeah, you undersold that. We are going to broadcast a previously recorded interview because the fellow we interviewed is a very busy man. Interesting story. I don't know. I don't know how much of this I really want to give away, but we kind of talked about it a little bit at the end of the last broadcast. Dear friend of ours, friend of the show, and a fellow activist, probably the activist in town. I can't think of right off the top of my head, anybody that is more on the front lines than this particular fellow. Was in a community outside of Birmingham, Alabama. And it's a small, struggling community. They've had a lot of socioeconomic problems. They were the town that the steel mill, U.S. Steel, had a very huge, massive, still has it out there, this huge, massive steel mill that has, just pretty much fallen into decay and decline over the years. Their production is down to, I would say, 10%, maybe 5% of what it was back in its heyday in the 70s. And they had started with massive layoffs in the 80s, and it's just trickled on down to just a skeleton crew out there now. So Fairfield had built their city around the steel mill. The steel mill crumbled, the city crumbled as well.
Did you know they had, real quick, did you know they had people that die out there from working?
Yeah,
and
quite a few.
And they pay the news not to report it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Quite a few over the years, and we've all, if you live in the area of Birmingham, you live here for a substantial amount of time, you're going to have somebody or be connected to somebody that's worked at the steel mill at some point in time. My great-grandfather worked there. I believe you had family members work there as well.
Yeah.
So
I know how I know, and that's true. They did that.
So Fairfield has been going through a lot of financial woes. The county and the city of Birmingham, which is a neighboring city, have been debating back and forth over who's going to annex it and how they're going to provide services to the existing residents there, and so on and so forth. Mercutio has family that and friends that live there. He has lived there in times past, and was visiting and noticed that there were a lot of heaps of garbage all around town. He got to talking to a friend of his, another fellow activist named Richard Rice, who's also an attorney here in town. Richard pulled some connections. They got a truck. And the two of them set off. They'd invited a lot of other folks, but they got started early, went out, and started picking up trash. And they were stopped by the police from picking up trash. They cited a health and safety violation, but when you listen to the interview, you're going to get a clearer picture of the story. Government at its finest. You can't even pick up your own trash anymore without the threat of some sort of interaction with the police, possible jail time, a fine, whatever the case may be. Now, luckily, full disclaimer, neither one of them faced any prosecution or currently face any prosecution or any court, so on and so forth. I think now they're pressing a civil matter, but I'm not really privy to all the details of it. But at the same time, had they pressed forward, had they picked up one more piece of trash and put it on the truck, they'd be in jail right now.
It's
for picking up trash.
Well, when you break down the reasons of why, that's when it becomes way more interesting, is because of the annexation. And we kind of want this trash here because it's really decorating what we're trying to pull off, and we're trying to make this look as bad as possible.
And meanwhile, so
if y'all could go ahead and not do that, that'd be great.
All sorts of rodents, maggots. We're talking about festering, rotting piles of trash all over the city of Fairfield.
Because they're broke and they want to go on over in Birmingham. Birmingham wants them. Want to annex all that.
And one other thing that they've
city.
done too is they've tried to retroactively go after citizens.
So the broker in the worst shape they are, then Birmingham can swoop in and rescue Fairfield.
Or Jefferson County, whatever. Because the other neighboring communities of Fairfield are actually very poor communities. Midfield, I used to live in Midfield. I grew up there. And Midfield is definitely not the city it was years ago.
Let's just go ahead and I'm going to go and play the interview, and we'll let them do most of the explaining. This is our interview that we did, 2 days ago, with Mercutio Southall and Richard Rice.
They here well, let's talk about it. You were involved in a incident recently in the city of Fairfield, which is neighboring city of Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm gonna let you tell your version of events, how it all went down from beginning to end.
Richard, who's here with us today, we rented a truck, to help out in the community, and me and some other people were supposed to be getting together and providing
Now, when you say help out in the community, what
pick up the trash, Fairfield at that point, and some people still even now had not been getting served as far as trash pickup in the community. There had been trash sitting outside being rained in on curbs for over a month before we got out there and tried to do something, tried to get it up.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the city of Fairfield has had some major financial woes as of late.
That is a complete and total understatement. Yeah. The incompetence, but if you look at the state of overall America, and but let's not get started on all that. Just
Detroit,
in Fairfield
anybody?
specific. Yeah. Oh my God. but it's Fairfield specifically, from construction equipment being turning up missing to the amount of incidents that Fairfield citizens have with the police out there. To like, it's too many. It's a lot of issues.
The police that Fairfield can barely afford to pay right now.
They didn't get paid this Friday, but I saw they showed up at the city council meeting out of the goodness of their hearts or whatever.
Oh, that's sweet of them.
That was, but like we have to. So
the cops aren't even getting paid on some way.
The cops, the city workers, the workers that are supposed to be, well, they outsource the garbage to someone else or whatever, which is part of the problem. The mayor.
So it's private trash pickup.
Pretty much, so that's why the people getting a bill that they didn't even know anything about, and Richard can tell you more about that. But it's ridiculous. There's no other way to describe it other than ridiculous. So the amount of stuff going on in there to the city.
Fairfield's broke
as hell.
They're letting people's trash pick up. Or pile up or whatever, and want them to pay money so they can get some money.
Pretty much.
Is that the pretty quick version of it?
Pretty much. Like, surprise, there's this huge bill that you guys have to pay that you knew nothing about previously.
And it was reported on AL.com recently. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It was reported on AL.com, which is our the local news site here. That recently that there were some residents that were actually being retroactively charged for up to 15 years of back service that they never received a bill for. Is that correct?
That's fairly accurate. And so basically my understanding of the situation, which is in limited, I have invested some time after we were, assaulted and almost arrested for just trying to do community service. And there is a statute, Alabama Code, which requires each municipality to pick up trash on a regular basis. Any citizen can also pick up trash. They can take their own trash and remove it without having a permit. If you want to remove trash from, the larger community, there's a process set up to obtain a permit. It's not really clear exactly what's all required. But before we get into that, I want to come back to the initial issue that some people had their trash. They had not been paying their trash bills for over 15 years. It's been a pattern, basically, of saying, if you pay, it's okay. If you don't pay, it's okay. Either way, your trash will still be picked up. However, enter this political incentive, this business agenda of the current leadership of the city of Fairfield, which they choose to use the most vulnerable people in the city of Fairfield, indigent people who are living in generational poverty, to use them as a political pawn to further their own objective of having the city of Fairfield annexed. My understanding is the game plan is to show that the city itself is probably more defunct than it truly really is, and that it's incapable of caring and meeting the needs of its citizens. Therefore, save us, please, Birmingham, and therefore there's no need for a debate because it's absolutely necessary because we don't have the ability to provide necessary services. Therefore, the act that myself and my brother here, Mercutio, took in just saying, hey, look, Mercutio's kids live in this neighborhood. Their friends do. We have open trash. This is a public health issue, and we want to address it. We're simply going to rent a truck and pick up trash on a weekend, volunteer our time. We had no intention of that making a political statement. Unbeknownst to us, it was a huge political statement. Because
you mean picking up trash isn't a political statement?
Hey, who knew? I had no idea.
When y'all started picking up, they're like, well, what are y'all doing? We need everybody to see this so we can go ahead and move over to Birmingham. Like, we need this here.
Exactly. That's basically
so
what
we can look way worse than it is.
You're destroying our props here that we've got.
Right.
All the rats and
we set all this up.
Right.
It take us a while to do this. What are you doing?
And so during this time, they told us that apparently there's a procedure for individuals to file an affidavit of hardship, but I followed up with the city since that time, and none of that information has been made available to me. So we certainly intend to take legal action against a particular officer, Sergeant Hunter, and also potentially against the leadership of the city as well, depending upon what their involvement is. But based on the information I have so far, we certainly intend to bring no less than two separate matters, lawsuits in this based on this issue, which was very simple in my mind, just to remove the trash. After that, we took the trash to the landfill. We disposed of it in a safe way. When the officer stopped us, we didn't have any trash actually leaking out of the truck. The only thing leaking out was just some water from some of the trash cans because it had rained so much.
Some have been raining on forever.
And we've all seen garbage trucks going around our neighborhoods with water and liquids just dripping.
Everyone.
It's impossible not to see that.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason they cited us. So, Mr. Southall, he had his ID taken from him. We don't know if there was actually probable cause.
Have you gotten your ID back yet?
No, but there was no probable cause. I shouldn't have. There's some things that I can't talk about or whatever, but I shouldn't have given him my ID, but the situation at the time was I should have given him my ID.
Can I speak on that for a minute? The reason why I want to speak on it is because, I want to commend Mr. Southall because I know he went against his better judgment and listened to me and gave the ID to the officer. And the reason I suggested that he do that is because this officer, in my opinion, was intentionally trying to escalate the situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm not about to stand by and allow Mercutio to, become a hashtag. No, fuck that. I'm not doing that. No, fuck it. And I don't feel bad about it. People can say whatever the fuck they want to say about me. I'm not about to watch that happen. We can give the ID away and get another one later. Right. Okay? We're not about to. It's not about to happen. It's not about to happen on my watch.
Now, did the cops treat you? Did they treat the situation different or treat you different than him because you're a lawyer?
Initially, they didn't, but I did give him my bar card and trying to calm him down some because this officer was escalating the situation by his tone of voice, by his hand gestures. He was violating Mercutio's space, getting very close to his face, being very erratic. And I'm telling him, calm down. We're actually doing community service. If we're doing something illegal, which I don't think that we are, simply tell us that. Okay? And we can deal with it in a reasonable, respectful way. But nobody's a threat to anything here. We're picking up trash. But this wasn't good enough for him because he had some type of agenda to be very aggressive. So, at that point, I said, look, I don't mind giving you the ID. Now you have the ID. Calm the fuck down, essentially, summarizing.
Yeah. Well, let's rewind just for a second because I want to paint a very clear picture of exactly what happened here. So you guys got together, said, to hell with all this trash. We're going to go ahead and do something about it. Rented a truck. Headed out to Fairfield, started picking up trash, and then.
So, Mercutio, go ahead, please.
Richard was actually early before me or whatever because I don't sleep much. So he was up early and he called me and I was outside 15-20 minutes later. So we started right there on the corner in the community. We got the gloves right there by the store in Fairfield on the less than half a mile away from City Hall in Fairfield. We started picking up trash in the community that had been sitting there festering for a couple of weeks. Right there within I think it's about maybe a quarter of a mile away from Fairfield City Hall, right across the street from American Legion. That's when we started picking up trash that had been.
And bear in mind,
how far did you make it before they approached you?
We made it about 5-6 blocks, going all the way up to the top of the street and going all the way back down. And we took pictures after we stopped or whatever because we were, we felt it would be best if we did something different at that time to keep ourselves from getting into any kind of altercations or anything like that,
So you wanted to document exactly what you were doing in case there was any kind of resistance.
And to show that, hey, we weren't just talking about this shit, look at this. This is literally hot garbage. we're picking up hot, juicy garbage, early in the morning when most people are asleep or whatever. We're out here picking up garbage, not getting paid for it. We didn't call any camera crews out there with us. We didn't
you
call
rented the truck
anybody
on your own expense, on your own
we
dime.
rented one of the medium-sized U-Hauls. We had it about halfway full with just 5 blocks, and we were out there for 2 hours, and it was hot. This has been one of the hottest summers we've had in recent memory. And so it was it was not fun initially, but we were determined to complete the project, and we didn't. One of the things I can say that we thought about ahead of time was we've seen in so many instances where government has told citizens that, look, we don't have the resources to help you. We don't know what to do. We're doing everything that we can. So we wanted to lead by example and say, to the extent that you can't help yourself, To the extent that you can't help
I
yourself.
don't know how anybody can look at it and it not be like an admirable thing, what y'all were doing. Like how anybody... Okay, what did the cops say about you're making a mess, it's in these health violations, blah, blah, blah. We don't want that in the street, but you're okay with it being in front of these people's houses. Like, so it's okay for a health violation on their property.
Well, you're jumping ahead just a little bit. So when they rolled up on you, when y'all were just sitting out there picking up trash, putting it on the truck, when they rolled up on you, what was the first thing that they said?
Okay, so I saw them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the security guy most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw them coming. I was like, here we go with the fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I went on ahead and pulled my phone out immediately. You know, Richard is like, not in those positions a lot of times when shit like that happen or whatever, and it's so I was like, yo, this is where we need to do, like starting off, to make them accountable, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? And that's what ended up happening in the end. Thankfully, nobody was killed in the picking up of some fucking trash.
It's ridiculous.
But
you're really lucky nothing happened.
Did y'all have with you volunteering?
At the time when the police arrived, we had just the two of us were there. Now, after that, we had a few other people show up, and we also
AV showed up after a little while,
and he helped us dispose of the trash and found the landfill for us and helped us unload the truck.
Shout out to AV, I love that guy.
All of us they came together when I told them what was going on. And that they had taken my ID, and everyone pretty much knows my mindset. Just being honest. There's no need to hide who I am. I am who I am. But again, this is a day in Black America. An act of picking up fucking trash in the community is a life or death fucking situation. When they was pulling up, I had already signaled Richard that they were coming, told him that they were coming, and already pulled out my phone before they even got out of the car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, that's a life or death situation. And for doing stuff in your community, again, what can we do and be Black at the same time in America?
Right. And you would think that an officer, should be trained to de-escalate a situation. Now, there wasn't really any escalation going on. There was no conflict. There was no violence when he arrived on the scene. Nobody was in a threat of danger. But the officer's arrival created a threat of violence. Now, think about that. Think about the oath that an officer takes. Think about their role. Think about what we teach our children about police officers. Now, these are two individuals who have volunteered their time to go out and try to do community service. And we're not harming anyone. We actually have people saying, thank you. Actual residents of the community, and Mercutio is somewhat of a resident. His family lives there, okay? And we're just doing community service, and this officer arrives on the scene acting aggressively, threatening violence, saying you're going to give me my ID without really stating what his probable cause is. I think at the time it was a gray issue whether he does. If a permit is required to pick up trash, okay, potentially that could be deemed as probable cause. Now, anything that doesn't give him a complete authority to deal with the situation any way he would like to. He would still have to follow a certain procedure, which he never did. So either way, if he had probable cause or not, and a judge will decide, he still did not handle the situation appropriately because of his body language, because of the words he used, because he was acting aggressively, moving closer to us as he was trying to provoke, in my opinion, some type of eruption. So if I see that happening, then yes, I'm going to I'll take control of the situation and de-escalate it. So once again, I'll stand by that decision. If I had to do it 10 more times, I would do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing.
The scary part is he could have come up to y'all and just been like, you aren't supposed to do this, y'all supposed to have a permit, just talk to you like that and be like, keep going.
No, but he calls the danger. He escalated the situation. We were picking up hot garbage and we were laughing about it.
Right.
We were fucking good,
That's all you really can do.
You know what I'm saying? We were picking up hot garbage and laughing about it.
So now he pulls up to you guys. You guys have the gloves on, got garbage in your hand, slinging it in the truck, and so he basically just says what at this point? Stop what you're doing.
I was actually in the driver's seat of the truck when he first arrived, and I think Mercutio had just thrown some trash into the back of the truck, and so he greeted Mercutio first, he came up to Mercutio.
No,
he didn't know. No, I never had any contact with him, but I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook on the
What
video.
is this officer's name, by the way?
Sergeant Hunter. Sergeant Hunter.
Sergeant Hunter.
I can't think of the officer's name,
I
but
think
it's
I've
definitely
met
Sergeant Hunter.
Sergeant Hunter before. Remember the story I told you about?
I think you did tell me about a Sergeant Hunter
that
you
was
met.
that was the one.
That's a damn shame. It's like a small world, but like.
What did he say to you first, though, in that situation?
He was like, you saw him like, you can record me all you want. I need some identification. Right. What do you need identification?
There is a video on Facebook, which we, when you hear this, we will have a link up, and we'll provide the link during the show about this. It's a very, very fascinating video. But go ahead, fellas.
It speaks for itself.
Yes,
the video
it
really
does.
It gives a good description of what took place. After speaking to the officer for almost 30 minutes, ultimately he came around to the disposition that you mentioned that he could have had from day one, from the beginning.
Right.
But that was after 30 minutes of back and forth. He also had one of the public safety and health officials there with him too, which I don't know how that was.
The head of the Department of Public Safety came out because we were picking up trash.
Correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
wow.
I know. It just says that there's other issues at play here than just upholding some, minor requirement to have a permit to pick up trash in your own neighborhood. I mean, that's.
Of course.
And outside of just taking the trash from the trash cans, we were actually cleaning up the streets as well. We were going from house to house. We had residents coming out saying thank you. Mercutio actually got one of the gentleman's names who was having some other type of issue within the community, and he was going to connect him with someone that could help him out with some particular issue. Maybe you can elaborate on that some. I don't recall what the gentleman was.
He came out and he was saying it was a lot that was over there that had been overgrown for a while, and he was not in good enough health to get out there and cut it himself anymore. But if we were to have anybody else to be able to come help him, he would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? This is a citizen. Also, while we were out there, and again, the officer is in the whatever the hell you want to call that, you know what I'm saying? Like the life or death situation that almost occurred over trash, she's actually asking us, can we come and pick up her trash? Like while the officer is talking to us.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how bad it is. You know what I'm saying? That people are coming up to us asking, hey, can you please come over here and pick up ours too? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous all the way around, that we have to like go through like something like that for like, and for what and what is that helping? Right. What is that doing other than fostering a more hostile relationship than already exists? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Again, and you never know. I learned that you never know what's on somebody's mind. You never know what somebody's going through, all that good kind of stuff, right? So you don't ever go to somebody up to them in a hostile manner, and you talk to them like they're a person. Mm-hmm. You not knowing that person's mindset, and we've seen that all over the country or whatever, but it's with the officers. Mm-hmm. It's not with the people. It's with the officers.
And the sense of entitlement that comes with the officers.
Oh, they should have did this. Well, what about the postal worker? Female and male, both arrested while doing their fucking jobs.
And the firefighter and the paramedic, and there are so many anecdotes. I saw the one about the firefighter.
What about the guy that got shot trying to help his autistic patient? Oh, and then the police couldn't even say. They said, "Why'd you shoot me?" I don't know.
Well, we know, but come on, man.
But that's real. That's real fucking life.
What's
that's real
really
fucking
sad
life.
Is we live in the world now where it's like, well, at least you didn't lie to us about it. You just said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's still like on paid administrative leave.
It's like, well, at least you didn't drop
for a little while, and then he'll be back on the force.
Or somewhere, or like he might not be back on the force, because, once you, what Tupac said a long time ago is still very relevant. Kill a Negro, you a hero. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You see it with Dylan Roof. He got like 4 point how many $1 million after killing those people in the church.
That dude
sounds like he got a knot upside his head this morning.
Yeah, he got it, and he got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking solidarity. I fucking love that shit. I mean, being honest, he did, and that's beautiful in itself. Like, this system, this justice system, is not just justice for us. We have that just us justice, and if it's going to continue to be just us justice, well, just us going to have to do something about it. Like real shit. Like we keep trusting in the justice system to do something about the conditions that are happening in our community, that are happening to us, but they've consistently failed us since we've been in this fucking country.
Okay.
You know?
I got a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Back to Fairfield.
Back to Fairfield.
Fairfield has representatives, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Have they weighed in? Is there any, like, because to me it's kind of like, all right, well, the people that's supposed to represent us aren't representing us, so we got this. We'll take care of it ourselves. Fuck y'all. You know, we'll just go around you and we'll just do what needs to be done for our community. So has there been anybody reached out to any representatives, any representatives in Fairfield?
Quite the opposite.
I mean, I know you're not going to get an apology, but as far as like anybody like saying, well, even almost confronting you.
I'm not gonna say any like names or nothing like that, but like somebody like gave the police a appreciation fucking rally after that happened.
Wow.
In Fairfield, somebody from the older generation, like they gave the police a fucking appreciation.
City councilman?
No, this is a Fairfield resident.
Yeah, but I think,
and they put out and then asked me to come take out their trash like the next day. But that shows how the
trash from the party.
No, the trash from their house that hadn't been picked up in the fucking community. Wow. But that shows like there's a
Stockholm
big
syndrome, and then there's that. You know
that we still have the slave mindset. Like a lot of people don't realize that we still live in a place where the slavery mentality is still going on with our people. You know what I'm saying?
That's white people. That's black
I mean,
people,
I agree. I agree. A lot of people do have that. Like that's why like a lot of people like be looking at me crazy using the Matrix as like a teaching point or whatever, but it's very, very relevant. A lot of people don't even know how fucked up they are or how much they are just hamsters on the wheel pushing forward this system that's doing all this violent, horrendous stuff all over the country.
Yeah, but to answer your question, though, I think each one of at least 3 of the candidates for the mayor's office have reached out to either myself or Mr. Southall and to show their support. They have to. They have to.
Right.
But we should give them the benefit of doubt.
Yeah, it's the mayoral candidates that
and they've also stated that they don't think that the current administration would really be inclined to extend any type of apology because of what we discussed at the beginning, which is the political incentive and the economic incentive of seeing the city annexed into the city of Birmingham.
Do we know if the current mayor?
He's not actually.
No, he's not running for real. He fucked up so bad that he's just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna. Yeah. He didn't show.
Is he old?
He's older. Yeah, Coachman. But like, I honestly believe, and I actually, I honestly, my brother Zone from One House, been talking about building like, an intentional living community. And Fairfield could be the place. They have failed their community all the way around, from letting the equipment be taken, from not listening to their needs, to putting personal finances over the good of their people. That's whatever. They have failed the city. That's know. And if you see to me, honestly, the reaction of some of the people in the community after the whole trash incident was to give the police a rally, like, thank you so much for protecting our community. Like, knowing they knew what happened, and then asked me to come pick up their trash or whatever.
Wow.
Like, we have to,
the trash
bandits.
We stopped the trash bandits.
Yeah, like, oh my God, we robbed you of your fucking trash. We were going to go throw it away. Fucking how dare we? You know what I'm saying? But we have to, it's up to our generation to kind of, unfortunately, it has to be out with the old in with the new, and we're seeing over and over, we know that this country only looks at us as 3/5 human beings, right? Like, just being honest, like, that's in a look back, that's case law, that's constitution, that's, Dred Scott all day, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if we know that, we see that this just us system continues to fail us, from Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore to the Baltimore justice system when it comes to Korean Gaines, pretty much where is it not failing us? Where has the officer actually got time for killing a black person recently? Where has somebody gone to jail? Like, look at Flint. You know what I'm saying? Let's just look at Flint. Where is it not going on? How many different levels is that shit not going on? And these people that are inside of the institution are all saying, hey, yo, look, everything that we are doing is right. We're doing the things within the boundaries that's set up for us to do these things in. So that's the way that we've been doing. That's the way we need to keep doing it. But as we know, the definition of insanity is doing things, the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You know what I'm saying? If we've been trying this since we've been out of quote unquote slavery, we've been trying this since we've been out of the Jim Crow era. We've been trying this since we've been in America. We've been trying to do things within the system. We have, like I said before, turned the other cheek. We've obeyed our masters. We done had faith like a mustard seed.
Yeah.
And there were parties for them. We've had faith like a mustard seed. We
shall overcome. Don't forget that old chestnut.
Don't sing that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't overcame shit yet. You know what I'm saying? We done kumbaya. We done washed people's feet. Motherfuckers in Alabama actually got together and washed police officers' motherfucking feet.
Oh, don't say
for
that.
real, in real life.
But
they did that after the. I'm sorry, guys. They did that after.
I know, right? But one of the things we can see, though, that needs to happen is that, good cops, we need to be able to distinguish between a good cop and a bad cop. They all wear the same uniform, right? But I'm saying is that if we have within any other profession the ability to call out, quote, bad apples, then that, we should be able to expect the same from police officers. And so we could really kind of stem some of this tide if we had some officers step up and say, you know what, we have a problem. But not all of us are bad in that way. But I'm willing to make a stand, and I'm willing to take arms with my brother Mercutio, brothers like AV or Zone or whoever else wants to step up and say, look, yes, we're angry about a lot of things, rightfully so. But if we can have some truth telling first, then maybe we can have some conciliation,
honest communication,
some transparency, and some honest truth telling, not just some let's do some PR and feel like we can post a video of an officer doing the nay and think that means that you just, we had everything's good now. Everything's good now.
Oh, let's terrify somebody and pull them over and give them some fucking ice cream.
That's not community policing. We need good officers to step forward and call out this type of
garbage. Have you heard
that
that Boston police
I agree with
have got a ice cream truck on their force now? An ice cream truck. They spent almost $90,000 of taxpayer money to get an ice cream truck.
Quick history fact. Hold on. While he's talking about the ice cream truck, a lot of people don't know this, right? The song for the ice cream truck is "Nigga Want a Watermelon." Really? That's the name of the song. Google it right now if you don't believe me. The song is "Nigga Want a Watermelon."
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that. Like, again, knowledge makes you unfit to be a slave, and then we learn in school, right? If one thing is true, the opposite must also be true, right? So if ignorance is bliss, like knowledge is hell, like knowing all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing our kids like perk up and being like, hey, like, oh, let us go get the ice cream. And the truck is nigga level watermelon,
You really think that apathy has kind of helped us along to get to where we're at right now?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And the apathy has really been affirmed. That's just the natural, it's conditioning. It's conditioning. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what it is.
Like it's so done to us that we don't even realize that it's done to us. Like we're so when I say that black people are under the most massive psychological warfare campaign that has ever been waged against anybody ever in the history of mankind, I really mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many pictures of dead police have we seen on Facebook or on the media? How many even of their funerals have we seen? But you get to see, you can Google Alton Sterling's murder right fucking now and watch him die, watch his hands shake, watch his life flow out of his fucking body. You can look up Aaron Garner's death right now and see him say that black people are under the most massive psychological warfare campaign that has ever been waged against anybody ever in the history of mankind. I really mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many pictures of dead police have we seen on Facebook or on the media? How many even of their funerals have we seen? But you get to see, you can Google Alton Sterling's murder right fucking now and watch him die, watch his hands shake, watch his life flow out of his fucking body. You can look up Aaron Garner's death right now and see him say that black people are under the most massive psychological warfare campaign.
You know what normal policing is, into the bounds of over policing, which this is a case in point example of that right now. Then you really start to all this frustration is coming out. It's an organic reaction, and so unless something is done to stop it, you'll see more of that coming out. But there's an opportunity still. Every second, every millisecond is pivotal potentially, and so we can turn this around. But we don't really see anyone who has the fortitude to stand up and say that. By me sitting here and condemning Sergeant Hunter, that doesn't mean that I'm condemning every other officer for every other act that they've ever made. But just by me saying that one thing against Sergeant Hunter, then people will misconstrue my words. Most people, majority elected officials, most of the middle class will take that to mean that I'm anti-police, which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
It's certain bounds. Your authority is derived from the people bestowing it upon you. You should respect that.
Think about this too. I thought about while you were saying that, like how many Sean Hannitys in the world are like, well, why can't people just help themselves? Pull yourself up, pull yourself up. And then it's like, okay, well, people are doing that. It's like, no, you're not even allowed to do that.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, trash.
Right.
You're touching the trash in an inappropriate manner. We're gonna need you to have on full body suits while you're picking up the trash, sir.
Right.
I mean, like, really, we're gonna need you
what
to have
about
a hazmat
what about
suit.
weighing the cost there in that situation to say, okay, it's a
Right.
public hazard to leave the trash on the street for over a month, but then again, it's also a hazard potentially to
What's
say,
going to happen when there's
what's
a
worse?
lawsuit
What's
because
worse?
there's trash in the
Exactly.
street?
We may have disease, anything could break out.
Anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All types of pests, rodents.
It was just a show of force. That's
really
all it
was.
was.
It
Do
really
you
was.
think they would have done it to anybody that wasn't you just because your name's around town, people know who you are?
Around town.
Well, you know what I mean.
Across
Do you
the
think they
nation.
were specifically picking on you specifically? Or
Like,
do you think
I
it was
talked
just
to Richard. I talked to Richard about this, and I'm like, man, like, I'm sorry. He was like, for what? I was like, man, like I told you, like, shit happens around. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
What do you think?
like-
Do you think they pick on him just because?
I think in some instances, in this particular officer, I think this is just his MO. He thinks he's the sheriff in town. If you ever watch these old westerns, he really has that mentality.
Especially on a
you know?
Sunday, too.
And I don't know that he was actually familiar with Mr. Southall.
just a dick.
Yeah, he basically. To sum it up, thank you.
Yeah.
But like I said, and like again, he don't, like
he didn't appreciate the and I don't think you should elaborate on that any further because it's not serving any purpose. But I understand that he tried to escalate the situation, and I took it upon myself to de-escalate it. I'm not trying to appease authority. I know that we have to make a stand at some point, but I'm not about to watch one of my friends become a hashtag and or something else happen as well. So that's the way I'm saying it, and that's exactly the way I felt at the time, is that this officer was trying to provoke Mr. Southall.
And now he actually, like, while I was doing the press conference in front of Fairfield City Hall, the officers kept passing by, and when we were out there after they pulled us over, when everybody pulled up and the people from the community that I knew started coming out, and we gathered in the area, the police started coming around the area riding slow and trying to intimidate us or whatever, so they did the same thing around where some of my family lives in Fairfield. And while I was doing the interview, they were riding back and forth. And Sergeant Hunter specifically, I didn't, just being honest, I didn't hear the rest of the words, but I heard him say something to the effect of someone getting shot. And he made it very clear to say the word shot very loud, And, just being honest, I was like, hey, everybody, you're not the only one that has a weapon, sir, And he looked crazy or whatever. But, again, our generation... And to say nothing against nobody that came before us, did nothing with us, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we had Deacons of Defense. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know about those guys, but they were there. We had the Black Panther Party, the Black Liberation Army, the Weathermen Underground. We had people that, put hands on people, not just
right here in Birmingham, Smithfield Dynamite Hill.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had members of the community who had to come out and patrol their own neighborhood
Dynamite Hill.
with rifles and shotguns. And I've actually met some of the individuals who still live there to this day who will tell you those stories. They had to patrol their own neighborhoods to stop people from coming in and actually blowing them up, blowing up their little girls, their families.
Those guys too, and it was like I get that it's crazy now, but like they were dropping bombs on kids back then.
So
it was
killing
like,
people playing in parks is like it is. Like it's like no again. Like what can we do and be black in America at the same time without having some kind of threat to our lives?
Yeah.
And I hate to do this, but I have to run. But I appreciate the time. I appreciate you all giving us this platform. This is really what's going to make a difference. You know, I hope that this is the deciding factor that will make this pivotal, right? It's just to be able to put the information out there in an objective fashion so reasonably minded people can make a decision for themselves. So I commend both of you for doing this. We need to do more of this. I hope to sit down with you all again.
No, we commend y'all for going out there and actually trying to make your neighborhood better.
My job is just, like I said, like, I'm not going to probably go out there and get mixed up. I want to relay the information to people. I want people to be educated in what's going on in the world.
It's an essential function of a democracy to have this type of information.
Absolutely.
Essential. It does not work without it. It will not. And we're seeing that. We're seeing the echo chamber that's created by the fact that corporations control the sources of information, the primary sources of information.
Oh, yeah, we're screwed on that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
Richard, do you want to plug your law firm?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm an attorney here in Birmingham. My name is Richard Rice, the Rice Firm, LLC. I do some work in civil rights, obviously, and constitutional law, but I also do some other work as well. You can look me up. And like I said, I mean, I think that we really do want to do things, quote, the right way, be reasonable, and sit down at a table and have some meaningful negotiations. And, ultimately, that's what I'm about. That's why I went to law school. I do believe in democracy. I think that it can be perverted, but in terms of having a government that has the most potential to be able to serve the needs of the people in a just way, I think a democracy is one of the best forms there. And right now, I believe that we've allowed our capitalist and authoritarianism kind of elements within our society to take over a little bit too much, and we need to have some checks and balances in place. And so whatever else may have been said, ultimately, that's really where I am. That's my space. And it's really, I feel like is being infringed upon more and more and more and more, and that's when you hear this organic rage and frustration that's coming out. We can't suppress it. Suppression is not the answer. It only makes it worse.
Oppression breeds resistance.
So on that, I'll close, but thank you so much.
So Shannon, just a couple of minutes here before we end the show. That was a great interview and discussion we had with Mercutio Southall and Richard Rice. It's a nice story. What's your, real quick here, your takeaway from that?
Well, first off, I have to apologize for those listening to the interview. We had a little bit of a sound glitch on our end. You can check out the rebroadcast of this interview tomorrow on YouTube. I really strongly recommend that you tell folks about the story and get it out there, because again, it's just yet another prime example of the further intrusion from the government on private citizens' lives. We can't even pick up our own trash now without stepping on someone else's political agenda, without something more dark and sinister and nefarious at play here. Just like a lot of the other instances we've seen that, where government has gone in and told people that they can't provide power to their own house. They can't camp on land that they have bought and purchased themselves. They can't collect rainwater and use that rainwater to, water crops or, tend to animals, whatever the case, or even, filter it out and reuse it. And now, I mean, it's got down to the point where you can't even pick up trash now. That's incredible.
That's it for answer.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.
Freedom is the right to tell what they do not want to hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
I want to get the language right. The big government is in trouble.
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of me?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
It is August the 9th, 2016. My name is S.M. Gibson. You are listening to Anti-Media Radio. There is a lot going on in the news. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to go ahead and bring on a great sound director, Shannon Madden. Shannon, what's up?
You heard any Trump jokes lately?
Oh, man. Man.
Daddy done messed up.
What is going on? Second Amendment. The insinuation behind the comment.
The insinuation, my ass. Come on, man. She's bleeding from her, wherever.
I tell you what, so everybody knows what we're talking about. I'm going to go ahead and play a clip real quick before we run down some of the other headlines that aren't part of the distraction that is the election. But this is pretty hilarious. So I'm going to go ahead and play a clip right now of Donald Trump from earlier talking about Hillary Clinton.
The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Jeff Ross. Y'all don't rap us.
Bad, that was the wrong video. Hold on. This is the right one.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But she said the other day, she short-circuited. Hey, could you imagine if I said that I
ain't going into some nonsense after that. But, yeah, there's the infamous clip. Did you catch it?
I don't know. I didn't really... I don't see what all the fuss is about.
It's just something to distract people from it. It's pretty hilarious.
I mean, did he really insinuate? Did he truly, genuinely insinuate?
He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Or was that just a supposition?
I think the people buying into like the hype and hysteria of him saying it at this point are almost as stupid as the people supporting it.
Well, here's the dangerous part about this.
Because this is clearly on purpose to incite people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the dangerous part about it is that we understand his base. Well, I mean, personally, I don't claim to, that they're my people. You know what I'm saying? But let's just, his base
frustrated with government
are undereducated.
That's not true. There's a lot of educated people supporting him. That's true.
Where are these people? Where do they live?
He's got support.
Smart people. Yes. Like people that are like educated.
Right. There's a lot of people voting for Trump that aren't admitting they're going to vote for Trump. I'm telling you. Just because I see through it, I don't believe all these people see through it.
Man.
I'm telling you.
Come on, dude.
Maybe I'm on.
Come back over to us.
No.
You're scaring me with this.
How?
I'm getting you.
There's going to be all kinds of different people vote for Donald Trump.
I am going to buy you
just like there'll be all
America
kinds.
Great Again hat, and you're going to wear it with.
Did I say it's going to matter? Oh my gosh!
There's some money riding on this. I can't wait. I cannot
She's
wait.
Gonna get beat.
She's not going to get beat because of the.
She's not going to be beat.
She's not. Now
what? That is correct.
Again, that's if the vote was actually counted. If this was a
You're right.
fair,
That's right. She's still not
honest election.
She's
it was not. Bernie supporters represent. Can I hear from my Bernie people right now?
They wanted.
They're crying in the corner.
She really. Nope. Trust me. She's not going to be president. She's not.
I don't know. I don't know what show you're watching, dude. I mean, the way has been paved.
We'll go ahead and end this real quick. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what.
Can you play the first part of that Trump speech again? That was awesome.
Well, that's what it's become. That's what it's become. Our political elections have become the 1995 Source Awards.
Didn't somebody get shot after that?
Pretty close afterwards.
Yeah.
That a comment was made about a little bit earlier.
This is Hillary's response. Hey, I'm above this, y'all.
So what other people may feel,
I'm above
I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. J, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this east and west that needs to stop.
Yeah, that's Hillary. As she's the one actually doing it.
Needs to stop. Everybody chill out. Everybody calm down. Ain't nobody shooting anybody.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what it's become. That's what a joke it's become.
I'm going to go back to what I was previously saying before you went off on some just like fantasy la land. Trump's base, his support, his main support, the people that are going to go and run out in droves to vote for Trump are undereducated, are typically in a working poor situation. Who's
not in that situation?
They're voting for a man who is a representative of corporate America who has put them in the position that they're in right now.
Well, of course.
And we know.
What does that have to do with anything? They're both bad.
Some of these folks get all these crazy ideas, and then they hear something like that. Hear something that somebody who is strictly for the Second Amendment, and Hillary just the mere mention of a word. That woman
Nobody knows what
your gun away from you. What are you going to do about it? You. I'm looking at you right there. Yes, sir. Yes, Donald Trump is looking at you, and you're fabulous. You're wonderful. Marvelous people. Now go get your gun, and you know what you need to do.
Oh, yeah, that business. That's just called trying to get headlines, man.
Well, but that's pretty dangerous. The game that he's playing politically is very dangerous.
I was talking to somebody earlier today, and the theory came up of what if, hypothetically.
What if?
Because who are we talking about? Hillary Clinton here. These people falling dead all around, and have been for.
And you don't think she's not going to be president of the United States?
Wait a second. Just go with me here.
All right.
I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm saying some interesting theory.
All right.
If because she is Hillary Clinton, and we all know that people tend to get ill or commit suicide, they get real sad if you're friends with the Clinton and got to end it. If there have maybe been threats directed towards Donald Trump from her direction, or what she believes is her direction, and he's going to go ahead and cut it off at the pass. And be like, if you want to play that game, let's play that game. And nobody sees the other side of the conversation. I'm not saying I believe that, but that's pretty...
don't you think
I could see that being plausible.
Well, don't you think just for a second that maybe possibly suggesting that somebody might go shoot her so they don't take their guns away from them is
I don't know. I think it's just all a big sideshow, honestly.
Because I heard the comment, and really, I don't think it was as pointed as people are trying to make it out to be. I mean, yeah, I get the implication. Okay, Don. But then again, this is, the same ass clown we've been watching for how many months now?
Well, it's a good
political gaffe after political gaffe after political gaffe, and I just rolls with the punches and comes out smelling like a rose with each one.
I tell you what, real quick, I want to mention something. Speaking of Clintons, speaking of people falling dead around the Clintons, we got
that old chestnut.
Is it Mike Cernovic, and WikiLeaks are both offering $20,000 apiece to get to the bottom of who killed the DNC staffer. And the police are offering more. I think it's like $65,000 in total.
You ain't gonna find that online, my friend.
No, well,
there ain't no email.
I don't think
the information there. I think.
I don't think. No. I don't think this has anything to do with emails. They're just offering money for anybody that knows anything that can help solve it.
Anybody that knows anything's got $20,000 they can wipe their ass with. So I mean,
not necessarily. Probably though. More than likely.
Friends in high places, my friend.
Yeah, there's probably not a long list of people that know.
When's the last time you've been to Walmart? I shop there. I admit it.
I haven't been.
I'm poor. I mean, what else? What other options do I have?
I haven't been to Walmart in a long time. I worked there for a brief amount of time.
You worked at Walmart?
Many years ago.
I knew about the thrift store, but I didn't know about Walmart.
Many years ago, it was the worst of the worst of the worst. They treated their employees like garbage.
No.
They do. It's true. That's a fact. That's not just
a friend of Hillary Clinton would treat their employees.
No, it's not just the lingo online. Wow, that is a fact.
Wow.
But anyway, we could sit here and talk about the idiot
Jade Helm. Oh, I'm sorry. I got my tinfoil hat Tourette's going tonight. Forgive me. 9/11. Yeah.
We've got a story up right now on the front page of the insidemedia.org. 5 things the media isn't telling you about the Olympics. Have you kept up with the Olympics at all? I haven't. Not a bit.
I don't watch broadcast TV, man. I'm sorry.
I haven't like at all. I see a few things come online. To be honest, I've seen the media. The only thing I've really seen reported is about how they're all doing the cupping stuff on their back. That's like all I know. And some people won some gold medals. I don't care. Maybe I should. There's nothing wrong with caring.
Synchronized swimming is always fun to watch.
But real quick, I want to run down this list. I won't get into it too detailed. But in Brazil, political protesters are granted very little freedom of speech, and that's why they are threatening to extinguish the Olympic torch. Which I saw videos. I'm trying to do that. So yeah, I'm trying to put the torch out. But yeah,
no smoking. Yeah,
and especially in where the stadiums and stuff are, they're not allowed to do anything. But Rio is broke, and so is Brazil. That's number 2. 3, the military police are responsible for Olympic security, but the targets are civilians and, in some cases, athletes. They have actually 4 branches of police. They've got military police, civil police, federal police, and municipal guard. Yada, yada, yada. Military police are doing security.
Yeah.
And they're not very nice people.
I don't think they're paid to be nice.
They're claiming that they're all doing this all environmentally free. They're not. And the last thing is Brazil's plan to clean the streets of Rio ahead of the Olympics was responsible for the unlawful arrest of thousands of children. Yeah, they were just rounding people up. It was really bad, and probably not worth all the sporting events. But, it's terrible. I know that. And yet, the world keeps spinning, and they're writing stories about people doing cupping on their back before they win a medal. Yeah, so, have you seen the picture of I know you've probably seen one of them, of the art. It's been going around for a while. I think it goes back to when they had the World Cup in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, of the stadium and the fireworks and the little Brazilian kid sitting there poor. There's like an actual picture of that now with like this group of kids at this wall that are like poor, like way back in the sun. And in the distance, it's this beautiful lit up stadium with fireworks, and it's just like, that's life imitating art, and not in a good way.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. And we're trying to get the Olympics here in Birmingham.
Are we still trying to do that?
I don't see why not. Lori Langford.
Now, you know they're trying to get the DMC back for 2020. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that sounds like
that's never going to happen, probably. You never know. One may look into it one of these years. But,
Hillary would be running for re-election. Wow.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up real quick. Did you see on when Idiot Trump made his statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the background, it's like, as soon as Trump says it, I
haven't seen it yet.
He has this look on his face. I mean, it's like right over his right, or yeah, I guess if you're watching, it's right over Trump's right hand shoulder, just that face right there. Hillary was in Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Florida, which is right outside of Orlando.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where Kissimmee. I got family there.
And in the exact same spot is where that guy was behind Trump. Sat the father of the Orlando shooter at. Not only was he at a Hillary Clinton rally, but sat directly behind her in view of the camera. You can't see hardly anybody at this rally, but you can see that man right there, his face next to hers.
Yeah.
What's that about?
That's just that's a coincidence, man. Come on.
Well, they tracked him down and talked to the guy, and he's like, I'm a Hillary Clinton supporter. I love America. I'm for what she says about gun control. Love Hillary Clinton. You know, he was pretty simple. He didn't really get into this.
Yeah, they didn't give him a massive paragraph to.
Oh no, they let him
to memorize. They gave him just a few lines to read off.
Well, what happened at first is his reaction seemed kind of whatever. They saw him in the parking lot. It's raining down. The local news of all people spotted this guy,
and they got shot.
And they go, "What's he doing here?" And so they track him down in the parking lot. And he doesn't really say anything.
Wow.
And he's like,
of course he didn't. He was trying to figure out it might be set up here.
The local newscast goes, and then, ironically, we ran into him later down the road on the way back to West Palm Beach. Ironically, ran into him at a rest stop.
Wow.
So they tracked the guy down at a rest stop and cornered him. And get him to talk, and shows up.
Followed his ass. That's what that was.
Yeah, but whatever. They talked to him.
These guys are going to get shot, man.
But
who they're playing with?
I don't know. But he seemed pretty aloof to the whole thing. And he says he got an invitation, and then he kept saying Democratic Party, Democratic Party, Democratic Party over and over and over. But here's the only thing to me is, okay, Hillary Clinton's people finally said, we didn't know who was there. We don't know who you're talking about. What's going on? That's odd. But you tell me, and maybe I'm wrong, hey, maybe I'm wrong, but you know for a fact that the people behind her are hand-selected. To a degree, I don't think they got a list of names.
Especially when you have,
in some cases,
that kind of stage, that kind of platform.
They pick people to be on camera to make the audience look more
Every single
diverse.
person that is behind her in view of a camera, on any camera angle, is hand-selected.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing for Trump, but Trump usually prefers to stand on the stage by himself.
I may be very, very wrong, but I find it hard to believe that the Secret Service for Hillary Clinton is not at least aware to a degree of who the people are in direct proximity to Hillary Clinton at all times.
And if they're not, then what do we have the Secret Service for, correct?
And we're not talking about he was just there in the crowd. That's very explainable.
Mm-hmm.
But to be up there and he's in the camera, she's in the camera, that's odd. What does it mean? I don't know.
I don't know. Is that a message to folks like you or me that would pay attention to something like that and say, damn, I wouldn't mess with her? Well, she keeps some very unusual company. I mean, that is what it is.
It is, yeah. It just kind of is what it is.
Hey, quick, name Charles Manson's dad. Exactly. I mean,
But I know this guy is Sadiq Mateen.
He wasn't friends with Hillary Clinton.
No.
Yeah.
Do you realize, I had this thought the other day and meant to do something about it, make something for it, but if you think about it, Hillary Clinton is responsible for way more people being killed indirectly than Charles Manson.
Oh, yeah.
Way more.
Was it even before she got to the White House? I think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
So
they say.
have to pull it up. You gotta
they say.
You gotta dig around to find stuff on Hillary these days. You gotta go way down, like
I'm weird. I can tell you more
50 pages into Google before you start getting the dirty stuff.
I can tell you more about some of the people Johnson was killing than I can the Clintons. I'm that weird guy. I should probably know more of those stories. They're pretty interesting. You can certainly go down a rabbit hole with it.
We need to go to Saturn and do trivia night with you one night. I can make some money off of you.
I'd have to be out in public. That sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, that's not that much fun. I've done that before. Been there, done that. Got a T-shirt.
Did you hear about what they found? ISIS over the weekend released photos of captured U.S. weapons. It looks like this old camp, and they've got this soldier's ID and everything, taking pictures of it. And the Army says this guy wasn't captured, that he's there with his unit. He's fine. So, but they got his ID and there's all this equipment. It's clearly all U.S. equipment, and they're showing it off like they got it. So that's happening pretty much everywhere. Everything they do, though, it's turned into. There's no real explanation for why all that stuff's just.
And really, there's no. I mean, both sides are going to lie about it. Both sides have done what they can as far as media manipulation goes. I mean, really, there's who knows what to believe at this point. As far as motive, as far as who did what, as far as if it was dropped off and hand delivered to them. And somebody accidentally left their ID when they bent over to pick up some grenades to give to them.
In the pictures, it looks like they were just sitting around camping and just got up and left. Yeah. And it's like I was just sitting there waiting for them.
Yeah.
So, but they're not offering much of a excuse on our side.
You see any Scud missiles in that stockpile? Remember the Scud? One of the most inefficient missiles on the face of God's green earth.
Speaking of weapons, have you heard that the U.S. is escalating how much they're giving and helping Saudi Arabia and Yemen, directly in Yemen? They're helping them refuel more and they get more weapons. And also there's they're doing 1.1 billion or something weapons package. No big deal. I mean, also, by the way, what was it? A month ago?
Nothing to see here, folks.
A month ago, the 28 pages came out.
Nothing to see here.
And we're giving them 1.1 billion.
Yeah, you're over there talking all that conspiracy talk again. There's nothing to see here, man. They're friends. We're friends with Saudi Arabia. Don't you know that? They have never done anything to us. Never done anything to us.
They've given the Clintons a bunch of money. They gave the Bushes
friends helping
the Bushes a bunch of money.
Friends helping friends. That's all that is.
I think I remember hearing, if I remember correctly, they've given Barack Obama a bunch of money.
How many people did they publicly behead last year?
Oh, it was
a stupid number.
Yeah, it was between 1 and 200. That's pretty wide, but we were talking beheadings.
Cut somebody's head off in the middle of the street for everybody else to see. Right. This is what happens when you don't do exactly what we tell you to do.
Yeah, and what's sad about that is, how many times have you heard the argument, well, it's better than the right ways they kill a lot of people. It's quicker. It's like, here's an idea.
Let's not kill people.
Right. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Put the right people in prison as opposed to... It's not like you can just have everybody walking the streets. Sadly. But people be crazy. 2 of them are running for president right now. So you think Hillary's sick? You think she's dying?
I don't...
Got Parkinson's as the rumor goes? I think Bill has Parkinson's for sure.
Bill's got something, that's for sure.
But her... seems she's got... pretty convincing. The Daily Beast had a rebuttal to it, and there was no rebuttal at all. So you don't think that she's mentally ill, dying, physically ill?
I mean, does it matter?
Maybe.
Whoever else.
I think it does matter if she...
she's an old lady. I mean, old ladies, they kick the bucket at some point in time.
She was old. in order.
Unlike Donald Trump, I don't want to speed up the process. Hillary can live out her years, of however long she's supposed to live it out, I guess. I'm not going to say anything about it.
Well, we're all going to be dead if she gets her way and we go to war with Russia.
Well, I mean, we won't all be dead.
Not everybody.
A hand-selected few.
Sure.
Anyways, you've never seen Dr. Strangelove, so you don't. I've already said too much, but there is a bit in that movie down toward the end that you'll particularly enjoy that pertains to what I'm talking about right now.
Did you see where, speaking of Russia, Putin and Erdogan, Russia and Turkey,
friends helping friends?
Yeah, reaching across the aisle. It's been pretty rough lately, guys, but
yeah, they've had a very sour relationship.
Very much.
Very sour. And it's good to see them patch things up.
Ain't it sweet?
Yeah. We got a band together, man. America's swooping on in here. What are we going to do about it?
How long ago was it that we were saying that there were more troops going to Iraq?
Oh, gracious. That hadn't been very long ago.
Yeah, they're saying 400 more.
Yeah. Because, terror.
I'm trying to run down the headlines.
Can't have terror without freedom. It's a yin and yang thing.
For most of the stuff that I'm talking about, you can find out more in depth by going directly to theantimedia.org.
Do it now. www.theantimedia.org.
Iran's claiming that the United States created ISIS.
No.
Again, yeah.
They'll say anything once they keep from going to war.
They're both. That's the other thing. Like, Iran is as bad or worse as we are with propaganda. So, I mean, when there's Iran and the U.S. spitting back and forth, it's just like, you can't listen to either one. I know that people have this thought, the United States does lie. That doesn't mean other countries don't lie either. You have to be realistic. And there's a lot of nonsense coming from both sides in that. So, it's a bunch of finger pointing.
Yeah. And both sides are all part of the same side.
I don't know that one. I don't think so, that one. And I think there's genuine dislike between them. And I think a lot of it has to do with Saudi Arabia, of course.
Yeah, but didn't we just work something out with Iran? And
Obama did, but the rest of the government didn't. A lot of people still got some feelings.
Feels.
My
feels.
And they're not done with that.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton being one of them. That's one thing that Obama and Hillary Clinton are very drastically different. Is Obama's not running into Iran.
What was the word that Putin used? I believe it was, what was it? Nuclear hegemony or something like that? I got to look that up again.
Oh,
but I mean, again, thank you. I don't know why my brain is definitely not
do it every day,
firing on all cylinders tonight. It's been a long day today.
Oh, that's all right. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of scare tactics and propaganda on both sides. And, look, Putin's going to do that too, but Putin is at least saying, hey, what's going on? This is leading us to war, and we don't want that. That's not in everybody's best interest here. Can we take a step back and let us just all kind of do our thing?
Yeah. Because if you combine the military might of Russia and China, combined with their weaponry and nuclear weaponry, that's
well, once one goes off, they'll start getting thrown around everywhere. North Korea. Japan is kind of looking at them like, okay, if they do something, they're getting ready to do something. I think they had some missiles activated for the first time in a few years.
No, again, I think that's still a little bit more of much ado about nothing.
Usually with North Korea it is, but
usually
they're over there. There's no telling.
All it's going to take is right now. One mistake, these little, firing pop guns off in the air. It's going to take one mistake for the whole thing to start coming down. And that's what I really don't like about, our little buddy over in North Korea.
Did you say that's the thing you don't like about him?
Yeah, I don't.
Is there anything to like about him?
Yeah, I'm struggling. I don't know. Is he into karaoke?
I don't know. He likes Dennis Rodman.
Asian folks love some karaoke, man. You ever wandered into one of those Chinese
I'm not very familiar
restaurants?
with it myself.
You wander into one of those Chinese restaurants late at night, and they'll set up one of the back rooms or the banquet room for a karaoke jam. Man, them folks are into it, dude. The sake's flowing.
Yeah. So
Starry night.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and bring up too, while we were talking about Putin, to remind everybody to watch that video. If you haven't seen the video of him talking to the journalist, then you should. I would play excerpts of it, but nobody speaks Russian, and you have to read the subtitles, so it really wouldn't do a lot.
You can link it. Put a link somewhere. You're a link kind of guy.
I'll do that. I'm going to drop right now.
Technology, man. I'm loving this technology. All the Twitters and the Facebooks, Spacewall. Yeah, that's some good stuff. You can talk to somebody all the way across the world with that stuff.
That's what they say.
Milo can. Well, he can still do it on Facebook, but poor Milo.
I hadn't seen it yet, but I heard he got in a fight.
I'm surprised he had.
Well,
I'm surprised he's not a physical altercation
with
of his life.
Twitter people.
Of course. Well, how do you communicate with him? On a cell phone?
In person. It was at the.
So he showed up at Twitter headquarters.
No, they were at the same. It was at the DNC, and they had their media little spaces, and they were kind of a media row.
Oh wow! So they were out in the open.
Yeah, they were out in the open. Both a media
That was a
row.
dumb move on their part.
Yeah,
they won't do that again.
Yeah, they couldn't get out of it, but they were telling him to leave, supposedly.
Of course they were. They didn't want to hear what he had to say, even though it might or might not be correct. He's a funny dude, though. I like him.
It's amusing. It's certainly funny.
It is.
I think
it's way more amusing than Trump himself. So I'll just leave it at that.
It would be way funny. Trump would be way funnier if he wasn't inciting all this craziness in people, which he is, and he wasn't running for president.
Yeah, if Trump was a gay British dude, I think his campaign would be a lot more fun. He would be way less successful, but it would be a lot more fun to watch. Just throwing it out there.
Well, I mean, I think it's already for insanity. It's going to get crazier, though. It's going to get a lot crazier.
I still think it ends with Hillary.
Nope.
They got that shit rigged from the bottom up.
It is rigged.
Believe it.
I don't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, if this was a fair fight, yeah, okay, I'd say Trump has a chance. But
I don't
this
think
is not a fair fight.
It's not.
My Bernie people, y'all hollered at.
It's
Come on,
not
now.
rigged for her to be president. It's not rigged for her to become president of the United States. It is rigged. But it's rigged.
There's no way in hell it's rigged for Trump. And we can both agree that it is rigged. So if it's rigged, which way is it rigged then? You tell me.
I don't know. Look,
you trusted public servant Hillary Clinton.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm telling you, she's not going to be president.
Well, that ass clown over there, the orange guy, the orange guy with the hair.
Have you seen the what people are throwing around now? If Trump wins, for Obama to go like martial law or something, and just stay in and keep him from becoming president.
I mean,
do you know what people would do
at this point?
That would be just.
It doesn't matter who becomes president. Martial law is going to get declared no matter what. Y'all make sure.
Well, if you know, we're already in that police state to a degree.
Yeah.
But you can still kind of walk around.
We're in
it's not like it was in Boston after the bombings, where like the streets just emptied out.
Not yet. You're absolutely right. Not yet.
It happened in Dallas too. When
it could happen anywhere, my friend. They've got it set up that way. What do you think Jade Helm was about? Oh, it was an exercise. Nothing to see here, folks. But what do you think it was about?
No, you got to do something about equipment. I mean, what are people shocked about? What are people shocked about? What is
people take to the streets, and we have to suddenly maintain order and control. That's what Joe Biden was all
they're
about,
not buying all
They're
of it.
ready.
Well, they're ready, but they're not trained that well. They're just not. Unless it comes in and the feds come in, which there's equipment all over the place for that, and then exercises and everything.
Can we both agree for the moment that Kevin is probably the smartest person on the show?
Oh, well, I never know.
He can't figure out how to get a Skype account. My dumb ass got a Skype account.
Yeah, I figured it out.
I hope Kevin's listening right now. I'm sure he is.
Yeah. I'm sure I stumbled through it, but
spoiler alert, because we don't have much show left. But yeah, Kevin was supposed to join us tonight via Skype, and that just ain't happening. So you're stuck with our dumb asses.
So we've got this supports your theory, but the former CIA guy, Michael Morrell, he endorsed Hillary. And he, supports all this crazy foreign policy stuff, as you would being with CIA.
Seems like Hillary supports a little crazy foreign policy.
She does. His is pretty...
Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Let me read you something real quick. This is his words here. I served presidents of both parties. I was at President W. Bush's side when we were attacked on September 11th as deputy director of the agency. I was with President Obama when we killed Osama bin Laden in 2011. I'm either a registered Democrat or a registered Republican. In my 40 years of voting, I've pulled the lever for candidates of both parties. As a government official, I've always been silent about my preference for president. But now...
the choice is clear.
The choice is clear. Hillary. She's telling him president.
Leave all that Crystal Pepsi alone and come back to the real thing, baby.
I know. It's not going to be what people think. I don't know what's going to happen. I cannot say.
It's the same thing that's happened this whole election cycle. It's going to be rigged all the way to the very end.
I concur.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's too much.
The new president of the United States.
Foolish.
The very first woman ever.
That's foolish. It's not going to happen.
I got some money riding on it.
It's not going to happen. I mean, I said that there was definitely going to be a Republican president, and she's pretty close to being policy-wise.
And you have some
Republican.
old line GOP members. The hardcore faithful have now thrown their hat in the ring with Hillary.
Here's one thing
they stand with her.
I understand that Kagan and Bill Kristol.
There's a list floating around right now of all of the party defectors, as it were.
Did you hear one of the Bushes supported Trump? But George P. Bush.
George, there's
there's
more than two.
Oh, there's a billion of them.
Really?
Yeah, there's a million of them.
There's a factory.
There's
a factory out in Texas.
There's a factory out Bushes. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. It may take a generation or two.
Located in George Herbert Walker Bush's balls.
It may take a generation or two, but the Bushes we have not heard the last.
Can you imagine how annoying that is to scream for "Hey George" and four people scream out at different parts of the house?
Now that doesn't mean they'll have success because I think
there's only one Jeb.
But I think they're going to pop their head up. You never know. They're usually back there.
Them Bushes ain't going.
They've been there for a long time, so I don't know how they're there.
Mm-hmm. Corporate America's finest.
Yeah. And okay, here's a crazy thought I had today. The anniversary of Michael Brown, Darren Wilson. I don't even want to get into that part of it too much. We've talked at great length about that, as have a lot of people. Clearly, nobody. The answer wasn't for somebody to die in the situation. Whatever. Not whatever, but you know what I mean. Okay, so think about that we have people in this country that, whether it's that situation, whether it's Tamir Rice, whether it's Eric Garner, whatever, they defend the person who killed somebody. They defend the cop in like crazy situations that you just like, how would you excuse that? But they do it anyway. And I guarantee you there's people out there that probably defend the cop from Walter Scott. I don't even know how you can do that, but I bet you there's somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Then think about how predominantly, stereotypically, those same people, a lot of them look very highly, like they love Ronald Reagan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Reagan, the person who shot the president is walking free. Mm-hmm. Walking free. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me think, can you think of anything a higher crime in the United States of America than that? Is there a higher crime?
Well, I think if you murder anybody, that
I agree,
but just ass in jail for a good long while.
I understand, but just in realistic, everyday speaking terms, that's about as bad as you're going to think of. Oh, somebody did that. That man's walking free.
Isn't shooting the president a hate crime?
It's something. I don't know, but the guy that shot the president, John Hinckley, is walking free.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done the research lately about, who his dad was and relationships with the Bushes. Neil Bush, the Hinckleys, of course. There was an energy company involved and money going to George Bush running for president in 1980 from Hinckley himself. But whatever. And if Reagan would have died from that bullet wound, who would have become president? It would have been George Bush, but, maybe coincidence. Or maybe the guy that shot the president's walking free and nobody even pays attention to it. Like, that's what level we're at. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're at the level where that's happening right in front of us in broad daylight. And nobody says a word about it. Nobody cares. And they love Ronald Reagan. Love him. And nobody says anything, but they defend people who shoot 12-year-old kids. Like what? Like, that's how brainwashed.
No charges filed. Listen,
I'm gonna go ahead and bring on. I got to do it. Kevin, he came through. Kevin, what's up?
What's up, bud? Doing all right, man?
Doing good, sir.
Good to be back with you fine fellas. And, ladies.
Sorry, but
Carrie on the line?
No, Carrie. No.
No Carrie tonight.
That's the only reason you called in, just talk to Carrie.
No, but I definitely don't want to leave her out when I said, and I didn't want to include her and the fellas in case she's, don't want to be considered a fella when I greeted you, fine gentlemen.
So,
anyways, it sounds like I came into something, rather important.
Well, we've been all over the place. But what's your overall take of the day? Because a lot happened today, and I really don't know where to begin with it.
I couldn't tell you, man. I'm the last person to ask. Everywhere you turn, there's something different. Either it's important or it's not. These days,
have any reaction to the Trump comment, Second Amendment comment?
Yeah, I think, that's Trump being Trump. I think he knows what he was doing. I think he was probably playing to that small, I say that small, that ever-growing, but that segment of the population that are probably keyboard warriors. And no offense, I know there's plenty of guys out there that are, just waiting, that claim they have an itchy finger and they're waiting for the bullets to start flying so they can take back their country. But, we know that that's not very likely to happen at all whatsoever. So I think he's probably speaking to those, to that group of people out there. That's what it sounded like to me.
Well, he's speaking to everybody when he says something like that. He's just looking for different reactions. I think he's looking more for a negative reaction in these situations. I really do. He knows better than to say that. I mean, how many campaign resets have we had here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think he really cares either. I mean, it goes to show Donald Trump will just about do whatever he wants and say what he wants with very little. I mean, what is he going to, at this point, you know, after the comment about shooting somebody in the head on Fifth Avenue, after that comment, you know, what does it take for Donald Trump to say that anybody would really care where it would shift the tides, any kind of one way or the other, any kind of dramatic shift? I don't think we'd see it.
And then meanwhile, you've got Hillary Clinton having the shooter, the father of the shooter of Orlando, right directly behind her as she's speaking. Like, the placement's pretty coincidental.
Right. You know, I had the TV on a little while ago, and one of the news channels, maybe CNN, was questioning, do you guys think she actually knew that this person was behind her? I mean, obviously, it wasn't just a coincidence that the guy was there, but I mean, do you think, you know, whether it was some staff member who decided, hey, we'll get this guy in here, you know, is he the one to blame for it, or do you think Hillary Clinton actually knew it? I mean, you would think, being a rational person, she would think that there was no plus side to that.
You would think.
Right, but we're so far removed from what these people live every day. It's hard to argue, you know, that we shouldn't immediately spring for the opposite of what we do and assume that they'd go with that.
Well, I think, though, her hiring Washington showed that she has zero disregard for any positive political move.
Fingers up.
Like, she stopped playing politics. Like, she's just doing what she wants. And that, you know, but I think there's also the chance of one of Hillary's staffers says, oh, well, the guy made the crowd look diverse. There was a Muslim guy sticking back there. That's a good possibility. He was put back there, I guarantee it, but did they know who he was? That's the question.
I mean, you would, like you said, you know, like it was said, you hope not. I mean, what added benefit? I didn't see exactly. Did this person have any additional roles in this whole proceedings, this whole dog and pony show?
A few times, but I mean, you know, he didn't carry out the shooting. It was his son. And it was just kind of left at that. And he was telling today that, you know, he's a member of the Democratic Party.
It's just an odd person to have on stage with Hillary Clinton.
It is.
The camera pointed in that direction.
It is very odd. And
very odd.
It was in, you know, Kissimmee, which is right outside of Orlando.
Yeah.
So they questioned about why he was there, and he said he was invited. And you didn't really get the answer when they asked.
Well, I mean, if you're sitting,
was it a mass email?
You're definitely invited. You know, put him over here. We'll put him in this seat.
He didn't explain if it was like a mass email invite or if it was
a mass email invite.
Or if it was a personal.
He was personally asked to sit where he somebody put him in that. Of course they did.
In fairness, you don't. It's likely, but you don't. You can't say that for sure.
As closely orchestrated as all the DNC events have been up to this point,
I agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree with
somebody made a decision to put him in that chair.
I agree
for whatever
with that.
reason.
I agree with that.
Maybe because he wasn't a white dude, and they happened to have a slot that they needed a brown person.
But you got to remember too.
A lot of that with the DNC.
You need to remember too that not every move these people make is as calculated as it appears, only because people make mistakes and screw up all the time, and there's some of these people probably pretty stupid. Not all of them.
No.
But
there have been a few things that have come from Hillary's camp during this campaign.
I mean,
that suggests that she possibly has a troll working
right. So
in her camp.
Bill's trolling her for sure, and the media's not reporting it.
Bill.
Him checking that watch still blows my mind that he did that, because that was a tip of the hat to when Bush did it to him.
Thug life.
I believe it. I believe it.
That was his thug life.
Either that or he didn't know where he was at anymore. He was just like, can I go now?
Yeah.
Which is a possibility.
I got a thing I was supposed to do tonight.
Yeah, he probably did.
Some Thai strippers.
Mm-hmm. So, you know. Have you kept up with any of the Olympics at all? Does it matter, Kevin?
No.
It ain't my thing.
No.
Yeah, I think what's more important are the, unfortunately, it's not being shown, the protests outside of
That's it.
of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff, man. You know, that country's like many other Latin American countries, and not just Latin American countries. You know, there's drowning in debt, and their government sponsored. You know, and with, of course, infusion from a lot of private company, a lot of taxpayer money. Is going, you know, to fund these big games, which I know there's a lot of pomp and circumstance and history and all that jazz. But when you've got people starving outside, you know, and corrupt dictators and strongmen are looting the country and the treasury, you know, it's hard to imagine that people wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It really is, man.
And yet, you know, as the whole world watches it, there's not really been much attention brought to it.
No, and I'll be honest with you, I've not been able to watch much of the games. I just saw that somebody had mentioned the protests just casually in passing on CNN. Are the protests at all, from your understanding, being shown at all? Anything whatsoever?
Oh, no, I haven't seen anything about it and coming across any news other than alternative. I haven't seen much coming out of the mainstream from it.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably something they really don't want, obviously, the media to pick up on.
Well,
this is an interesting video of some guys recording some pickpockets. Some guys out over in a hotel room just recording some of the local people going through there. And man, if you were a tourist, you better hold on to your purse because your stuff was getting snatched. Man, what a interesting place to have the Olympics of all things.
Yeah, I heard that was going on.
Given the circumstances with the water, man, you guys see the water? The athletes are being told not to put their head below the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
Like, it seems like it's bad on everybody there. Like, it's everybody. You know, the athletes aren't getting it any better. You know, and you think they'd be living like kings and stuff. But that's how bad it is in Brazil. And they just, like, it makes no sense of why they held it there at all. Because what little they had, they didn't need to be spending on that. It's not like they were just rolling in it before.
Right. What's crazy is they've known this is coming for so long. You know, they knew it was coming. They knew it. I had a little bit of interest in it. I forget what brought me to it, but I had read several stories, several months ago, even a year or two ago, about the water quality, specifically, and the violence that was breaking out there. And questioning, hey, is it smart to even have the Olympics here? So, this is obviously not an issue that just popped its head up. It's been growing worse and worse and worse.
Oh, yeah, they've been talking about it for forever.
Right.
We've only got, about 8 minutes here left in the show. Real quick, Kevin, I want to get your thoughts on, I don't know how much you got to look into it, but Putin and Erdogan meeting today. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. That's completely news to me.
Yeah, it looks like they're, you'll have to go look into it, but it looks like they're trying to man the fences between the two countries. It's, with the plane not too long ago.
What do you think that'll do to, I guess, Turkey's relationship with ISIS when it comes to buying all the oil?
That's a good question.
Yeah, and they're being a NATO ally, and cozying up to Putin, that, I don't know, that screams some foreign policy issues just itching to be.
And he's going complete Hitler mode inside of his country.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, God, yeah. And I wonder how many people are aware of that. That is, I think I know the Western media has obviously, for the most part, been asleep on it. The alternative media has really been the ones really pushing and exposing any of what seems to be going on over there.
At all. And the really bad part is like, when you say, oh, yeah, everybody hears the term Hitler thrown around, like, that's actually what's happening. Like, it's just, he's shutting that place down. But I think it's really interesting that he's trying to get recruitment on some stuff. I guess he figures it's in their best interest. We'll see what happens and what the outcome of that is.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Real quick, Shannon, before we go, I want you to talk a little bit, just a few seconds, about an interview we're going to have up pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully we can do it Thursday night. We also will hope to have an accompanying story. Our good friend Mercuso Southall, the original, I guess the OG Trump rally, the first person of a long line of people of color that were escorted none too gently from Trump rallies all across the nation.
They tossed like 14 out
the
other day and won.
Yeah. He has recently made local headlines with a story that I really think that a lot of people across the country need to hear, particularly when we talk about the constant intrusion that the government has on our daily lives. This one's about picking up trash, and fascinating story. We've got an interview story and hopefully some links to some video as it happened. You're not going to believe this. It's a crazy story, but
infuriating story. Not just interesting, infuriating.
Absolutely. So.
So hopefully that'll be up on Thursday. That'll be on Thursday night show. Hopefully, 2 hours.
I need to get my ass to work. Is what that means. Still got some editing to do. So
hurry up.
Just editing. I believe that's called.
Yeah, because you're not actually like cutting it up and making it say other things. It's just post editing to play on the show.
We're just going to play like a 30-second clip of it. Yeah, and then talk about it for 2 hours. Yeah,
let's do that.
No, that's not going to happen. This ain't no Fox News up in here.
Speaking of which.
Never rob us! Never rob us! You never keep knowing this!
That's the first thing that came to mind today.
I don't understand what that was.
That was East Coast versus West Coast.
What that was at the 1995 Source Awards.
That Outcast swooped in and took it all over. The South shall rise again.
Outcast, yeah, Outcast.
And Yellow Wolf.
No, I'm not a fan of that.
They're coming to Beham, aren't they? Here any day now.
So, Outcast is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We're just 3 minutes here now. Just
go diss on Yellow Wolf like that. I'm so disappointed in you right now. Anniston, Alabama, represent, man.
Is it Anderson?
Yeah.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Everybody comes from somewhere.
You're an asshole sometimes. You know that?
Sometimes.
Whatever.
Congratulations, everybody, on all your success.
Yeah.
From wherever you're from, especially people from Alabama.
Thank you for making it to the end of this broadcast. We'll reward you with what's the prize?
They know, I'm telling everybody now they've got the in on it, that Hillary Clinton's not going to be president.
She is definitely going to be president.
Not going to happen.
Bernie supporters, come on, where you at? Y'all in?
It's not going to happen.
Well, y'all
where are you at on it right now, Kevin?
Sir?
Where are you at on that? Will Hillary win the election or not?
Trump's going to get it.
All right, we got a Trump. We got one for Trump.
I didn't ask you.
If half of the people that think that they're going to vote for Trump remember that they were supposed to have already registered and actually registered to vote, I think Trump will win. That's going to be the kicker. How many people do? Because you know that so many people out there don't even know where their polling place is, will not know, don't even realize they should have even been registered to vote.
Y'all really think that they're going to count the votes and they're going to go ahead and pick the actual winner?
When have I ever said that it's not?
You're a crazy person.
She's still not going to be the president.
You are crazy.
People don't like her, I'm telling you.
I hate her. I do not want to see her as president.
I'm not talking about
her. Yes, you do want to see her.
Go and let it blow, blow through the stereo. I'ma let them know, through I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.
This is Ozzy Skateboard.